He's been an operative at America's intelligence agency, a world-famous whistleblower, a fugitive in Russia, and depending on your opinion, is either a patriot or a traitor. Now Edward Snowden can add Oscar winner to that list, although the honour really belongs to the team behind Citizen4, a documentary about what he revealed. Earlier, I spoke to Sir David Omand, the former head of Britain's intelligence agency, GCHQ. I asked him first, Edward Snowden, hero or villain?
Well, it's possible to be a bit of both. In my book, he's more villain than hero because of the disproportion with which he acted. The damage he's done is out of proportion to the well-meaning intent he might have had.
But I mean, how damaging has it really been?
It does appear from everyone I talk to that the police and the intelligence agencies have found their targets, some of their targets, going dark. And given they're trying to track down jihadist terrorists, given they're trying to track down serious criminals, it's a real problem. Now, they may get it back over time, but just at the moment, at this moment of severe danger, it's not a good thing to happen. If he wanted to have a public debate about what are the rules, what does the law mean, he could have had that. But why did he need to steal 50,000 top-secret British documents, including how we support our military forces, and hand them all over to a journalist or series of journalists?
So you don't believe, in a sense, that he is a whistleblower in its purest sense?
You can make that case in relation, perhaps, to some of what the United States was doing. It's debatable. It'll no doubt end up in the Supreme Court to judge it at some point. You can't make that allegation of wrongdoing in relation to what's been going on in the United Kingdom.
But organisations like Liberty say that the simple fact is the intelligence services retain a largely unfettered power to rifle through millions of people's private communications, and that cannot be right, can it?
Well, if that were true, it would be worrying, but it's not true. That's a slanted exaggeration, and when we come to see the Laura Poitras film, I imagine we'll get the same line pushed at us. It's one way of looking at it, but it's not what the court, it's not what the senior retired judge who oversees all this says actually happens.
Edward Snowden told a very simple story about when he was contracted to work for the NSA, about people looking through material and finding, say, explicit photos. And people going, oh, wow, look at this, and passing it round. And it's a very small example of the fact that our data can be accessed and can be improperly passed on.
Well, 2 points. First of all, you're taking his account at face value. There's no documentary evidence of that. Would such a thing be possible here in our system with our intelligence agencies? No.
Edward Snowden has said if he ends up in chains in Guantanamo Bay, he can live with that. Is that where you'd like to see him?
No, no. I mean, he's a very, I believe, misguided. He may have started off with the best of motives, but he stole an enormous quantity of very sensitive information, which is harming our security. And
on a question of our security, was Sir Malcolm Rifkin right to step down as chair of the Intelligence and Security Committee?
It's entirely up to the committee. They choose their chair. I think he must have felt that that was the right thing to do.
There are some who are suggesting, perhaps unkindly, that if he couldn't spot this sting coming, he should never have been chair in the first place.
Well, that's a kind of journalistic soundbite, isn't it? There was never the slightest risk to national security. I mean, what it reveals might be an error of judgment, but we don't hang people for that.
David Omand, thanks very much for joining us. Thank you.